The Great Lakes and other lakes in Minnesota are currently facing an issue with the invasive species of the zebra mussel. The zebra mussel is indigenous to areas of Eastern Europe and Western Russia, specifically the Caspian Sea. They originally were brought over through transnational shipping boats in the ballast water of the boat, so water that was just kind of in the hull. Zebra mussels lived in there, and then they eventually were able to spread out into the Great Lakes. Additionally, they were first found in 1988 in the Great Lakes. When they were in their indigenous lands of Eastern Europe and Western Russia, their natural predators which controlled their populations were the diving duck, the crayfish, the common carp, freshwater drum, and the pumpkin seed fish. For consumption, zebra mussels consume both algae and zooplankton, yet zooplankton eat algae, so it can be referred to as either a secondary consumer or a primary consumer. The result of this is actually a competition with a lot of fish. So the fish populations have drastically decreased, and furthermore, because they are eating lower ends of the food chain throughout the waters, what happens is the higher animals in the food chain or organisms are being affected at much more drastic rates. So one example of this is the native mussels. Their populations have been drastically decreasing recently as a result. As for the biotic impacts of the zebra mussels in their ecosystems, they've been consuming a lot of algae, which reduces the amount of algae that's left for other organisms such as fish. And so what happens is other animals have been drastically controlled in their populations, and their populations have decreased. One example of this is the unioid clam. So their population has been reduced to a near extinction point as a result of the consumption of algae from the zebra mussels. Furthermore, because there is less algae in the water is actually becoming more clear, which allows for more sunlight to reach the bottom of the lakes and allows for plants to grow. This effect allows for smaller fish to live better because they're able to hide within those weeds and other plants. Zebra mussels have been clogging a lot of pipes, so something that they'll do is they'll stay within the pipes and clog them, which makes it extremely hard to pump water through them. So actually, companies throughout the Midwest and the Great Lakes areas have been spending tremendous amounts of money in an attempt to reduce the amount of zebra mussels throughout these pipes. Since 1989, $250 million has been spent, nearly $250 million has been spent on reducing the clogs throughout these pipes. Furthermore, the dissolved oxygen levels have decreased throughout the lakes as a result of zebra mussels being there. Biological control to reduce the populations of zebra mussels is a product called Zequinox, which has been cited to be more than 90% effective. It causes blood clots throughout the digestive system of the zebra mussels, which in turn kills them. And this bacteria isn't something that's foreign. It's actually common, and it's found in the vast majority of soil. And currently it's being used in water pipes to reduce the amount of zebra mussels clogging them. And the biological word for the bacteria is Pseudomonas fluorescens. The risks of using Zequinox are similar to other bacterias. So one of the risks is that the bacteria could mutate and then in turn harm many other organisms. Another kind of risk is that when you actually use this bacteria in the water in a localized area will turn very cloudy and white, and it doesn't necessarily only affect zebra mussels, so this bacteria can actually affect many other native mussel populations, and therefore that's one of the other risks associated with it. So many zebra mussels will actually attach themselves to harder things that are in the water. For example, this boat lift. So this is part of a boat lift, and these barrels are in contact with the water. You can see some of the residue that's on them from zebra mussels that we've had to scrape off. So something that you'll see at a lot of lakes throughout Minnesota is invasive species inspections, where when you put a boat in or pull a boat out, you'll actually get it inspected to see if there are zebra mussels in an attempt to, I guess, mitigate the spread of them.